Hi, thanks for your interest in the future of the Fanwood Memorial Library. I'm Dan Weiss, and I've been the director here for close to 20 years now. Over that time, I've developed a real affection for this town that's been such a wonderful place for me to work. And as the director of this library, it's my responsibility, among many other things, to ensure that we meet the current needs of residents and to plan for the future. So the board and I listened to what we were hearing from you, the residents of Fanwood, and with input from the mayor and council, we've developed a vision of your library that responds to the needs expressed by the community. A vision that transforms challenges into opportunities, a vision that can take us into the future. A vision that will attract even more families to our town because it emphasizes childhood literacy, advancements in technology, and community engagement. And it's a vision that retains our core values and the essence of what people already love about this library, our small town feel and the personal service. Our vision for a better library began 20 years ago. We became concerned when the internet exploded with information and entertainment, and we lacked the hardware and software to keep up. When the basement flooded for the third time in 5 years. When our outdoor lift finally failed and parents pushing strollers and others couldn't get access to the lower level and the children's department. When our programs began attracting overflow crowds and left seniors standing. So ideas for improvements fell into three main categories: infrastructure, access, and space. But before going any further, maybe you're wondering whether libraries are still relevant, or if new technologies are making the library obsolete, or if we even need a library at all. But I can tell you that here at the Fanwood Memorial Library, use continues in a strong upward trend, and we are busier than ever. In a July 4th article, the New York Times noted that far from becoming irrelevant in the digital age, libraries around the nation are thriving. By doing the very things that we're doing here in Fanwood, adjusting hours to community needs, hiring more librarians, and adding to our longtime repertoire of summer reading clubs and traditional programming, by expanding the catalog of services and programs we offer to include things like coding classes, makerspaces, help with job hunting, and more. And in 2015, here at the Fanwood Library, we had over 42,800 visitors through our doors. That's a 10% increase over the past 5 years. We circulated over 44,000 items, and our redesigned website was viewed over 45,000 times. Ebook and audiobook circulation rose a dramatic 48% just since the year before, with over 2,300 checkouts by Fanwood cardholders. We served up over 1,300 individual free Wi-Fi sessions, and over 9,000 library users of all ages attended more than 365 distinct programs and events. But there are challenges, and as we analyzed them in depth, we noted that no other public building in Fanwood is open longer or serves more people for more hours in any given week than your library. And this volume of usage over time has taken a heavy toll on both the original 1951 building, built right after the war as a memorial to the returning vets, and the 1980 edition. And that usage continues to climb. Despite some fixes, the lower level is still prone to wetness and flooding. The HVAC is problematic and difficult to control effectively, which especially affects the downstairs level. The building is terribly energy inefficient. We've got a leaky roof and problems with the exterior, and the wiring is hopelessly inadequate to accommodate the kinds of electronic devices we all now use. And so let's take a look at some of that. Here's our phone system and electric panels jury-rigged to the wall of our furnace room. And our internet connection and networking hub in that same room. Here's the HVAC system that attempts to heat and cool the building. And this is what we have to resort to provide outlets for people looking to plug in and charge up. And here's how we had to try to accommodate people during Hurricane Sandy back in 2012, when the demand for outlets was at its greatest. This is one view of our beginning to fail roof. And some shots of our persistently leaky roof, which we can never quite seem to overcome. The siding outside is beginning to fail. And we have critters nesting in the roof and the eaves. The atrium that protects the emergency exit from the lower level from the weather is falling apart. And that weather continues to take a heavy toll on the siding of the building. The brickwork on the main entrance is crumbling, and there are many cracks which have been repaired over and over on the steps and the landing. And here's a crack in the concrete basement floor by the door to the emergency exit. And without an elevator, the building denies lower level access not just to individuals in wheelchairs, but to anyone with a mobility issue, parents with strollers and toddlers, someone who might just be temporarily disabled, or anyone who has difficulty with our steep, narrow staircase. This building fails to offer students and others a quiet place to collaborate on projects, and users of all ages quiet places to read or study or be tutored. The building fails to accommodate meetings for so many of our local organizations, and even worse, it consistently fails to meet fire department occupancy regulations during overflow programming. Here's our only small and somewhat inaccessible downstairs programming space. And these are kids making do upstairs in the main area of the library for our weekly makerspace programming. Here's an overflow standing room only crowd at one of our music performances. And a children's drama program that had to be held in the main area of the library to accommodate the crowd. And we've had success with outdoor programming, but if it rains, we're in trouble because we have nowhere else to accommodate everyone. So in order to transform these challenges into opportunities, and as a response to what you've asked for, we developed this vision. A vision that is ADA compliant, dynamically designed, efficient, and sustainable, and one we believe is cost effective and delivers a substantial return on investment. It's a plan for a vital community asset that will serve the borough effectively, and a library that the town will be proud of for decades to come. Our vision calls for improvements in infrastructure, access, and space for all visitors, young children, tweens and teens, families, adults, seniors, community groups. An improved building means upgrades in infrastructure, the roof, energy and HVAC efficiency, wetness issues, plumbing, improved ADA compliant bathrooms. Visitors will no longer have to sit in hot spots or ice-cold rooms. And upgrades in IT and wiring will enable students, business people here on site or working from home, and groups to access the internet and use their electronic devices effectively. The plan, of course, includes an elevator that will make all levels of the library accessible to all users, regardless of age or ability. With the children's room on the main level, parents with strollers gain access to kids' materials and spaces. And kids have more room to explore the collections and places to play. Authors and other presenters have more space to engage their young audiences in early literacy programs and story times. And with the children's department on the same level as the adult library, parents can pursue their own library activities while the kids are still in view. Because schools and many families cannot keep up with the rapid changes in technology, young adults often learn how to navigate new technologies from each other. The plan calls for separate, supervised, fully wired, and safe spaces for teens and tweens. In this dedicated space, they can learn about new apps, gather for study and collaborate on projects, access their Google accounts, or just hang out and play. They will have the wiring, the space, and the equipment to develop their own PowerPoint presentations, videos, music recordings, and more. Adults will find quiet, comfortable seating with improved computer access. Increased life expectancy means more active lives for seniors. They want to communicate with family and friends and use the internet and their mobile devices, but many need assistance and practice to keep up with advances in technology. This new space would offer them the tools and services they are looking for. And this space offers entrepreneurs, telecommuters, and home-based business owners a place to recharge, tap into databases, do research, and connect with partners and peers. Flexible program space has been added to meet the ongoing demands and needs of the community and the library. It's a space that can be divided and subdivided to accommodate more than one group at a time, and will contain all the wiring and technology necessary for large and small groups of any age to meet, enjoy programs and crafts, and more. These are just a few examples of how this space might be utilized by the community and the library. There could be a Game of Thrones fandom tournament on one side while our knitting group plies their craft on the other. Or post-story time activities for preschoolers could be in full swing while seniors enjoy an afternoon bag lunch movie. And in a world where information and technology are everywhere, opportunities to unplug may become even more essential, benefiting both professional and personal experiences. With the children's department upstairs, the lower level now opens up for book stacks, study carrels, and tables for reading. It encourages quiet study for students and researchers, safe and non-distracting space for tutoring, and efficient staff areas. So we understand there are many questions, and that this is a significant undertaking for the borough, and we don't take that lightly. And we're aware that at this point, you're probably sitting there asking yourself, What will this cost? How will we pay for it? And what will the impact be on me as a taxpayer? First, as you might be aware, since 2011, every New Jersey property owner's tax bill now includes a separate line item labeled library tax. Not a new tax, it just breaks out the portion of your taxes that have always gone to support the library. Take a look, and you'll see that for the average Fanwood taxpayer, the amount of your property taxes that do go to the library is a very small proportion of your total bill, just under 2%, or in the neighborhood of about $200 a year. For this project, the library and the board are committed to aggressively pursuing alternative funding options to try and minimize the impact on taxpayers. And while it's not really possible to effectively explore any of these options before an actual project is in place, some possibilities for outside funding include grants, energy tax credits, federal or state funding related to the ADA and energy portions of the project, and a vigorous local capital campaign. There's also a bill currently pending in Trenton called the New Jersey Library Construction Bond Act. That's NJA 222, which if passed could finance up to 50% of public library capital projects. So of course we're hoping that that bill gets some real traction. So our architect has estimated the cost of this project at $3 million. And for every $1 million that is spent, the cost to each household would be approximately $30 more in taxes each year for a period of 15 years. So for $3 million, it would be 3 times that, or about $90 per year per household, but only for the course of those 15 years. And so combined, the two levels offer what we believe to be a sound response to the community's requests for improved infrastructure, access, and space for now and into the future. We believe this plan champions childhood literacy, supports home-based business, those who work from home and those who are looking for work, and improves technology access and support for everyone. It is a 21st century library that develops a substantial return on investment of your tax dollars because it reflects the values, the needs, and the expectations and the pride of our community. It is consistent with libraries in similar-sized towns, and it will support growth and changing Fanwood demographics in the decades to come. So thanks for taking the time to watch this presentation and for your interest in the future of the library. Before we wrap this up, I'd like to take a moment to walk you through some of the design that you've been seeing here. You can see on the upper level, the light yellow area is the current existing space, and the new space, the addition, will wrap around 2 sides. The darker yellow area is the new main entry hall and includes at the far end the elevator and the stairwell. And as you turn the corner, there'll be a gallery wall for local artists to display their goods and ADA accessible bathrooms. The blue area to the right is the new multi-purpose room, and the blue area at the top over by North Avenue is the new children's department. The lower level has an added area where the elevator and stairwell will come down, but has been reorganized to allow for more tables and seating and stack storage and staff areas. If you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to contact me anytime at the library, by phone or by email, or just stop in and say hi.